Hey guys, Justin here, checking in on a beautiful and kind of brisk day 15. Today, I weighed 280 pounds on the dot, so far doing good for my 90 pounds in 90 days because it's been 15 days and I've lost 15 pounds and I'm pretty excited about that. But for about 4 days, I got stuck. I was stuck at 282 pounds 282.2 pounds for 4 days with zero movement. No matter what I did with my diet, no matter how much I exercised, I was stuck. And that's gonna happen sometimes, guys. You're gonna hit little plateaus and you're gonna get stuck. The important thing is to keep on keeping on. Keep doing what you've got to do to be healthy, and eventually that plateau is gonna break. So I'll check in with you guys soon. I hope you're doing well. Hey guys. Just about time for me to head home here on day 15, and I hadn't planned on doing an update video until later this evening, but as I was checking my emails for the end of the day to make sure that there wasn't anything I had to get done before tomorrow morning, I read a really interesting email that I just had to stop and kind of share with you guys. I'm going to read this email. And I'm not going to read the person's name, so if you're watching this, you know who you are, and I'm not going to put you on blast in front of everybody, so don't worry. I'm going to read this. It says, "Hey Justin, how you doing? I've noticed that you haven't posted a video in several days, and I just wanted to know why, and check in on how you're doing with your weight loss. I want to encourage you to stick with your goals and to keep posting videos. Your honesty and your openness about your weight loss, along with your great attitude, have inspired me to finally do something about my health. Please stick with it. Also, I was wondering if you'd be willing to answer a couple of questions for me." Let me just stop right there for a minute. This is super classy. Thank you so much. Thank you. You know who you are. Thank you that you care about me that much. What an awesome way to encourage somebody. They're not being rude. They're not being pushy. They're not being accusatory, they're just checking in. Thank you for that. You're awesome right off the bat. The truth of the matter is, I haven't posted a video in several days because I realized that nobody wants to watch a video about me every day. Nobody wants to see me every day. My wife and my kids probably don't want to see me every day. I've just got them convinced that it's really difficult to change locks, so they're stuck with me. I haven't posted a video every day because I figured it would be easier for me to just post update videos every few days for you guys instead of just inundating you with the same old stuff over and over again. So thank you very much for encouraging me. You're awesome, and I will absolutely answer some of your questions. If you're sticking with it, classy, yet again, if you're sticking with it, how do you discipline yourself to keep at it? My body hurts from the exercise, and I get moody when I'm eating healthy. Have you dealt with those challenges at all? Yes. You've got kind of a couple of different questions or things wrapped up into that, and so I'm going to kind of go at them one at a time, okay? It says, if you're still sticking with it, how do you discipline yourself to keep at it? I have to think about the things that motivate me. I have to think about the things that caused me to realize that I needed to make changes in the first place. I don't just mean like huffing and puffing when I'm walking upstairs. I mean the realization that I want to be around long enough to play with my grandkids, to play with my great-grandkids. What keeps me motivated is the realization that I want to be around to do things. I want to be an old man with my wife, holding her hand and taking long walks together. If I'm too heavy or too unhealthy to go on walks, then how am I ever going to enjoy that memory that I hope to make someday? So to keep myself motivated, I think about those things. I don't know what it's going to be for you. I don't know what your motivating factor is, but I'd rather put in the work now when I'm young, when I can, than wish that I had put in the work later. The next thing you said is, my body hurts from all the exercise. I get it. I totally get it. Sometimes our bodies hurt. For me, I'm asking my body to do things that in some cases it's never done before, or it hasn't done in a really long time. It's gonna hurt. My best advice to you in that, take it slow. Take it slow. I know the crazy temptation of wanting to hop right into things and go full bore and go full steam because we want to see immediate results, or we want to get really into something to prove to ourselves that we're dedicated to it. We want to jump in with both feet. I'm totally that guy. But when it comes to this, take it slow. Do little bits at a time. And don't get discouraged that you can only do little bits at a time. When I first started doing this, I set a goal of starting my day with 5 push-ups and 5 sit-ups and 5 squats. 5, not 15, not 50, 5. And the truth of the matter is I could do more than 5. I chose to do 5 and work up. 5 push-ups, 5 sit-ups, 5 squats today is more than I did yesterday. It's more than I did the day before that. If I do 5 today, and I do 5 tomorrow, and I do 5 the next day, then I'm going to work my body into a place where 5 doesn't mean anything. And then I'll do 10, and then I'll do 15, and then I'll do 20. But you gotta start slow. You're asking your body to do things that you've never asked it to do before. Take it slow. Don't let anybody get in your head. Don't let you get in your head and make yourself think that you're not working hard enough. Start slow. And I want you to remember, exercise makes you fit and exercise is important. But to lose weight, you gotta stop eating as much. It's just the truth. You can't outrun a fork. You're gonna shovel way more calories into your face than you're ever gonna jog off. Take it slow, okay? Next you said, I get all moody when I'm eating healthy. I do too. For me, this video blog has helped a lot with keeping me positive and making sure that my attitude is in check. And also, the discipline to stick with it. In just a very little bit of time, your body's gonna adjust. I know it sounds crazy, but it's true. Your body's going to adjust. You're putting less calories, less chemicals, less. You're putting less into your body than it's used to. And your body doesn't like that. Just stick with it and that kind of stuff will level out, okay? Second question. I know that you love food. I do too. I get excited planning out meals or thinking about where my family might go to eat. I love cooking and I love it when people enjoy what I cook. How do you resist the temptation to eat things that are off your diet? I've been doing great until I see a burger place, or a burger ad, or hear a radio commercial about burgers, or think about burgers. I guess what I'm trying to say is that I like burgers. They're my kryptonite. I goofed up today, and I ate one for lunch. Then I felt ashamed and got all depressed about it. So do you know what I did to make myself feel better? I went and bought another burger. I know that sounds crazy, but I just kind of got a why even bother mindset. Have you dealt with that? So I'm going to unpack this in pieces. I know that you love food. I do too. I get excited about planning out meals or thinking about where my family might go to eat. I love cooking and I love it when people enjoy what I cook. How do you resist the temptation to eat things that are off your diet? It's hard. I get it. But here's the truth. You've already eaten all your burgers. You've already eaten more than your fair share of burgers. I know that sounds harsh, and I'm not trying to be mean to you, but the truth is you've eaten all of your burgers. For me, it's burritos. Breakfast burritos. I love breakfast burritos. And they're good any time of day. It's never a bad time for a breakfast burrito. But the truth is I've already eaten all of my breakfast burritos, as evidenced by the shape that I'm in. Now, I will get to eat breakfast burritos again someday. I'm not gonna go without breakfast burritos. Like I said, they're the perfect food. But the truth is right now, I've eaten more than my fair share of breakfast burritos. I need to eat healthy. You've eaten more than your fair share of burgers. You need to put down the burger and think about what it's gonna take for you to be able to see your grandchildren's children. The next thing you said is, I goofed up today and I ate one, a burger, then I felt ashamed and got depressed about it. So, do you know what I did to make myself feel better? I went and bought another burger. I know that sounds crazy, but I just kind of got a why even bother mindset. Yeah, I've dealt with that. Now let me just say, I know this person personally, and I know that they're a Christian. And at the end of the day, I'm a pastor, and so the advice that I have to give them is going to come from that perspective. But I know that many of you watching this are not Christians. I challenge you to stick around anyway, because the things that I'm going to say are true regardless of what your worldview is. And I'm not going to say the stereotypical things. And I'm not going to take a bunch of scripture out of context like, if you've got the faith of a mustard seed, you won't be fat. You can do all things through Jesus. I'm not going to feed you that line. Because at the end of the day, people who do those types of things are trying to appeal to your emotions. They want to get you all worked up, make you feel warm and fuzzy inside. And if you know me in real life, you know I don't care about making you feel warm and fuzzy inside. I just want to be honest with you. So regardless of your worldview, I dare you to listen to what I have to say anyway. It might just surprise you. So I don't know where you're at spiritually, but this is how I'm going to speak to this person, and hopefully it benefits you too. You goofed up and you got your burger or your burrito or whatever that thing is for you. You goofed up and then you got ashamed and you got depressed. And then to make yourself feel better, you went and did the thing that made you ashamed and depressed. The truth of the matter is this: we're designed for worship. We're made for it. We have a natural inclination to seek out things in worship. Listen to what you told me here. I know that you love food. I do too. I get excited planning out meals or thinking about where my family will go to eat. I love cooking, and I love it when people enjoy what I cook. What does that sound like to you? Because to me, it sounds like worship. I'm excited to worship my God. I'm excited to worship my Jesus. I'm excited to worship him through the study of his word, through the singing of songs, through being in fellowship with other people. You're doing the same thing. You're worshiping your food. And you goofed up and you ate one for lunch. And then you felt ashamed and you got depressed at that. There's this thing in you that's come to the realization that you're putting your worship, you're putting your focus, you're putting your attention and your admiration in the wrong place. In a place that's making you unhealthy. You got that burger because it was making you a promise. It was promising you that when you ate it, you were gonna feel good. You weren't gonna be hungry, and that a desire of your heart was going to be fulfilled. This thing, this idol of false worship, made you promises that it couldn't keep. And so when you ate it, you quickly realized that the promises weren't kept. And so you had shame, and you had depression, and then you did what most people do. When you were ashamed, when you were upset, when you were depressed, when you were self-loathing, you turned to the thing that historically has made you feel good. You said, I know that sounds crazy. It doesn't sound that crazy. I get it. You're a human being, a creature built for worship. Your default setting is to worship. The problem is the focus of your worship. See, the truth is that in this world, there are things that are easy to worship, and there are things that it's more difficult to worship. You chose the path of least resistance, and you worshiped at the altar of cheeseburger. I don't say that to shame you, but I'm just trying to tell you the truth. You have to place your worship where it belongs. You have to place your worship towards the only thing that actually fulfills. You are a creature designed for worship. You've just put your worship in the wrong things. Ephesians has this to say. In Ephesians chapter 4, starting in verse 17, it says, Now I say and testify in the Lord that you must no longer walk as Gentiles do in the futility of their minds. They are darkened in their understanding, alienated from the life of God because of the ignorance that is in them due to the hardness of their heart. They have become callous and have given themselves up to sensuality, greedy to practice every kind of impurity. But that's not the way you learned Christ, assuming that you have heard about him and were taught in him, as the truth is in Jesus, to put off your old self, which belongs to your former manner of life and is corrupt through deceitful desires, and to be renewed in the spirit of your minds, and to put on the new self, created after the likeness of God in true righteousness and holiness. I want you to understand what this is saying here. Because what this is saying is that you have to let go of the old self. your old manner of life, this manner of life that was full of falsehoods, this manner of life that was darkened in understanding, that was deceitful and that craved for deceitful desires. See, your desire for food, your desire to find joy in food, it's a deceitful desire. It's making promises to you that it can't keep. It's making promises of satisfaction and of joy and of happiness. And it can't keep those promises. It's a deceitful desire. But Paul tells us here in Ephesians to be renewed in the spirit of your mind and put on the new self, created after the likeness of God in true righteousness and holiness. You have to put down the old you. You have to let that part of you die. Being a Christian, being in Christ, means that the old you has died, and that in Christ you have been made a new creation, a new thing, a new person. And that new person needs to put away deceitful desires and be renewed in the spirit of your mind. You have to adjust the way that you think, the way that your mind sees things, the way that your eyes absorb the world around you. And you have to put on the new self, the one that was created after the likeness of the living God. You need to stop worshiping empty things that are making false promises that they will never and never could keep. Thank you so much for your heartfelt encouragement. Now, let me encourage you just a little bit. I know that you can do this. I believe in you. I know that you can do this. You just have to have a renewed mind. You have to look at things with honest eyes. Stop lying to yourself and stop letting things of this world, namely food, lie to you and make you deceitful promises. It's okay to enjoy food. It's okay to enjoy a meal with friends and family. It's okay to want to cook for people and want them to enjoy the food. 1 Corinthians chapter 10 says, so whether you eat or you drink or whatever you do, do it all to the glory of God. Don't do it to the glory of food. Don't do it to the glory of your stomach. Those things are fleeting and passing. Do those things to the glory of God. Start looking at your food with a different set of eyes, renewed by the spirit of your mind. And you can do this. Listen, I know that this isn't the way that my videos have typically been going. And I know that some of you who are watching this aren't Christians. I don't expect you to share my worldview. I pray that you will. But I understand that you may not. Even if you're not a Christian, even if you don't share my worldview, you know in the fabric of your being that you pursue food because it makes you feel good, but only for a minute. You pursue food because it's making promises to you that it can't keep. So I encourage you, look at it in a different way. Stop glorifying the fuel for your body. That's what I have for you guys. I've got to go home and spend some time with my family. If you haven't yet, it would help me out a lot if you would consider hitting the subscribe button and the little notification bell, maybe giving this video a thumbs up, and please, feel free to share it if you think it's going to help anybody at all. Thank you guys for your encouragement. Thank you for your support. And thank you for caring enough about me to hold me accountable. Until next time, this is Justin reminding you to fight the good fight, finish the course, and keep the faith. I'll see you soon.